start with the harlequin bread. As you can see, there are a lot of ingredients on the table. Harlequin bread is a combination of your white bread and brown bread. We place it on top of each other and we roll it. Okay, we'll show to you how it is done. Let's make the dough first. The ingredients for the dough are, for the white bread, we are going to use 125 grams of your refined flour, 2.5 grams of your salt, 5 grams of fat, 5 grams of yeast, 5 grams of sugar. For your brown bread, we are going to use 60 grams of your refined flour and 65 grams of your whole wheat flour, which is your atta. Again, we are going to use your salt, which is 2.5 grams, sugar 5 grams, your yeast, which is 5 grams, and your fat, which is 5 grams. We are also going to use some caramel to give it some color. I've put one egg over here. As you all remember, in your first year we had added one egg into our brown bread, but because this is half a recipe, I'm going to add only half an egg in this, and the remaining half I do not want to waste. That is why I'm going to add it to my refined flour bread or my white bread. We have water, which is, I have measured 150 ml. It depends on how much you want. Now, since this is a half recipe, we are going to use half of this water. Also, we are going to put egg, so still the water will be reduced. So by now in third year, we will know approximately how much water we should use. The equipment that we are using are, we have one baking tray, we have some cloths to cover the dough, a rolling pin to roll the dough scraper, and some flour, dusting flour, which is required when we are rolling it. Alright, so we start with making our white bread. Take the flour on the table, make a well, add yeast, sugar, and we are going to add half an egg in this. And we start. Don't play too much with the yeast. Okay, so harlequin bread is named after a jester or joker, Harlequin, who used to wear checkered clothing, white and black or red and white, if you can see the pictures of him. And he always used to thwart his master's plans. So from that picture, they have made this harlequin bread, which is again a two-tone bread, which is your brown and your white. Add water slowly. Half of 150 is your 75 grams, but we are not going to add 75 grams because we added one egg as well. So slowly add the water, bind it together and see how much you need. Make a nice soft dough. Once the dough is binded together, we all know we need to knead the dough well. Remove everything from your hand and start kneading. I think it will require some more water, so I'll take some more water. Once your dough is kneaded, add your fat and salt to the dough. As you can see, dough is kneaded. Add fat and salt. And knead it. Okay, you can see the fat and salt is kneaded well inside. Yes, round up the dough. And put it on a clean place on your table and cover it with a damp cloth. Okay, now on the same place I have wet some cloth. Clean your table and start with your brown bread. We are taking 60 grams of your refined flour, 65 grams of your whole wheat flour. Mix it together. Make a well. Add yeast, sugar, egg. This is the half egg that is remaining. We'll also need to add a little bit of your caramel. To give it a brown color. And start mixing it with the water. We know that the refined flour is the flour that we get only from the endosperm of the wheat grain, and the whole wheat flour, if we crush the whole grain, we get the whole wheat flour. We know that by now, so I'm not explaining the whole detail in that. Be careful in this case while adding water, because there's caramel and egg, the dough is going to be very sticky. Be very careful when you're adding water in this dough. Make a nice soft dough. Your dough is binded together. Now start kneading. Okay, so the dough is kneaded well. Start creaming your fat and salt. And add it into the dough. Mix it well, knead it well. And your dough is done. You can see, round up your dough. And put it on a clean place on the table. Cover this dough as well with a damp cloth. That's it. Okay. So now our bread has gone for proving. We'll start with our crepe Suzette. We are going to show you how to make the crepe batter. Okay. For that, the ingredients are 70 grams of refined flour, 150 grams of your milk, 1 egg, and 1 teaspoon of oil, refined oil. The equipments that you need are, you will need a whisk, a bowl, spatula, measuring spoon set, and another bowl and a strainer to strain your crepe batter, and a duster to keep it underneath the bowl. Now, add the flour to the bowl and slowly start adding your liquid ingredients and start making your batter. There should be no lumps in the batter. I've broken 1 egg here already. Add 1 egg and mix it nicely. And 1 teaspoon of your oil. Mix it. There are no lumps in this. Now strain the batter. Now we'll allow the batter to stand for 45 minutes to 1 hour, and then we'll show you how to do the crepes. Okay, so now if you can see, both our breads doughs have cooled very nicely. What we are going to do is, first we are going to sheet the white bread into a rectangle. We are going to sheet a brown bread into a rectangle, put it on top of each other and roll it. Okay, so before knock back, sprinkle some flour. In order to have an idea, we're going to sheet it into this much. Alright. Once this is rolled, keep this at the side. In its place, hold the brown bread. Roll it in the same way. We want it as big as the white bread is. Now what we always do is we are going to put a brown bread on top of a white bread. So we have a white bread and a brown bread. Remove the excess of maida. Okay. Apply little water on the white bread. Very carefully place the brown bread on top. Start rolling. when you come to the edge, apply a little water. And seal it. As in case of all of our breads, the seam always comes down. So, onto a lightly greased baking tray, place your bread. Now we need to put gashes over the bread. You can either do that with a knife or a blade. 4 to 5 gashes we need to put. Alright, don't go cutting too deep, it will open up on its own. You can see brown layer, white layer is already opening up. Okay, as it proves, you'll be able to see. Put it for proving, and once it's proved, we'll put it for baking. We'll show it to you then. Alright, so now we are going to show you how to make your crêpe Suzette sauce. Crêpe Suzette is basically, it has an orange sauce. You take your butter in the pan. You melt it, and then you add sugar to it, caramelize it, add your orange juice and mix it and allow it to thicken. So that is basically how we are going to make our crêpe Suzette sauce. So crêpe Suzette has a very interesting history. There was this man called Henry Charpentier. He was hardly 16-year-old boy. He was an apprentice at a restaurant. And in his restaurant there was this King Edward who came to eat. And his chef, who was in charge of cooking for King Edward, had to go away for some reason home. So Henry Charpentier was in charge to prepare the dessert for King Edward. And while making the dessert, by mistake, he made the sauce, and by mistake some amount of alcohol went into the sauce and it flambéed and all of that happened. But he served that same sauce and the same dessert to the king, and the king liked it a lot. And he asked Henry Charpentier, what exactly is that dessert? And he said he does not have a name for it, but you can name it after your lady consort who was Suzette at that time. So that's how they got the name crêpe Suzette. So now let's look at the sauce that is happening. Don't burn the butter, you just want the butter to melt. Once the butter is melted, add the sugar, mix it, allow it to caramelize a little bit. Alright, so as you can see, the sugar is caramelized in the butter. Now we'll add our orange juice to it. I hope you remember the recipe. It is 50 grams of your butter to 50 grams of your sugar and 400 ml of orange juice. We have used canned orange juice or your Tetra pack of the orange juice in this. You mix it, and it has to be kept on a low heat so that the orange juice thickens along with the sugar and the butter. So this will take some time. Alright, so we will put it on another gas flame in order to allow it to let it to simmer, and in the meantime I will show you the other things that we need to do. Okay, so now we need to garnish the crêpe Suzette with some orange zest or orange rind. What we do over here is, there's an orange which is washed nicely. You remove just the skin of the orange. Okay, that's how you will peel the whole orange. Take out the pith or the white part. It is bitter in taste, so we do not want that. What we are trying to do is create a garnish. If we do not want a garnish, we will just grate the zest out and put it in the juice, but we want the garnish. So slowly just remove all the white part from the whole of your orange peel, and then cut it into nice long slivers like this. once they are cut, what we'll do is in this Swiss roll tray, we'll put all our lemon rind. We'll toss in with a little bit of sugar. We'll put it in the oven to caramelize. Once it comes out to caramelization, we will, after we put the crepe Suzette on our plate, we will put these rinds on it as garnish. Okay, so now we are going to make our crepes with the help of our crepe batter. You have to put the pan on the heat and ensure that it is hot, it is nice and hot. Once the pan is nice and hot, you grease it with a little bit of oil. You do not need to grease it with oil every time you make a crepe. So it's just seasoning the pan once. Once your crepe is done, you can keep the other crepe without again applying oil to the pan. It's a non-stick pan. Alright? To check whether the pan is hot or not, you can take it close to your face and feel the heat. Don't take it very close. Don't burn yourself. And ensure that the pan is very nicely hot. Okay, so I think the pan is hot enough. I will dip my muslin cloth in a little bit of oil and grease it nicely. You can see there is no oil like that, you can see on this pan. Now take 3/4 of your round spoon. Slowly pour it and turn it immediately. Turn it immediately. You can see the crepe is already setting. Now the indication that the crepe is done is it will start to leave the sides of the pan. We do not flip the crepe upside down. It is just to be cooked on one side and then we'll just flip it over onto the plate. That is how it is done.
Becoming brown
On the edges, if you can see. It's done, that means. So we'll flip it onto the plate. That's how you complete making the whole batter for the crepes. Okay, so now I will show you the final plate presentation of our crepe Suzette. We heated the sauce up and as you can see the sauce has become nice and thick. Okay? We will take a little bit of sauce in our pan. You can also flambe it with brandy. You know that. You must have done that in your Guéridon service in your F&B. Okay. Take crepes. Place it in this. This is called sousing the crepe. We have written it in your recipe. If you do not understand, I am just telling. This is sousing or dousing it with your sauce. Now we'll fold it into a quarter. So first fold it into half and then again further fold it in. Pick it up and slowly place it on the plate. In the same way, take another crepe and place it. I think a little more sauce is required, so I am going to put sauce. Once it is done, fold it again. You can use all of this sauce and put it on this plate. Nicely pour it. And you can garnish it. You remember we did these orange rinds. We have removed it from the oven. We caramelized it with a little bit of sugar. And that's how you serve your crepe Suzette.